you're underwater and you see the thing that you were taught your whole life to fear, and it doesn't want to hurt you, and it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And your whole world changes. The one animal that we fear the most is the one we can't live without.
So Rob, I guess you're getting the opportunity to see the world through this film, promoting it and traveling like a carnival kind of.
I've been traveling for a year and a half promoting Sharkwater all over the world, and the response has been huge. I mean, 5 days into the film's release in Costa Rica, the government banned all foreign landings of sharks. We broke box office records in Canada, had one of the biggest documentary openings in France's history. So the movie's doing great, and I'm getting to see the world and travel and you know, help inspire people to gain a new relationship with the oceans.
Okay, so obviously, you know, the film has created change in some countries, which is brilliant. Do you think down here in Australia, you know, we need to look at our relationship with sharks?
We do. Australia still very much subscribes to the belief that a good shark is a dead shark. There's drum lines that exist solely to kill large sharks to prevent them from, you know, hunting human beings. And there's, you know, large nets that string along the beaches that kill more sharks leaving the nets than they do coming in. You know, Australia is good because they've, you know, we're one of the first 4 countries to ban shark finning, but they're currently considering legalizing shark finning in some areas, and the shark fishing business here has boomed in the last 5 years because of the price of fins. So on one hand they're great, on the other hand they need a serious change of heart. I mean, the biggest issues facing the oceans is awareness. People can't see what happens in the oceans the same way they see what happens on land. So most of our concern, our policy lies on the surface. People don't realize that, you know, 70% of the oxygen in the air that we breathe comes from life in the oceans. That life in the oceans consumes more carbon dioxide or the global warming gas than anything else on Earth. If people were to realize that, you know, conservation isn't hugging trees and saving pandas, it's the preservation of human life on Earth, we'd have a very different situation. And so we're trying to develop the groundswell and get the public support for the film.
And what do you think is the biggest myth about sharks that continues to exist, you know, here in Australia, for instance?
The biggest myth is that sharks eat people. If sharks ate people, the oceans would be a terrifying place, and surfers would be very, very few and far between. I mean, the reality is sharks do bite people. They make mistakes, they, you know, make an investigatory bite, but it's very rare for a shark to remove flesh or to eat a human being. Every year there's 7 to 10 billion swimmers swimming in areas where sharks hunt, and about, you know, 60 to 90 shark bites with 5 fatalities. I mean, that makes sharks one of the least harmful large predators the planet has. I mean, vending machines are scarier than sharks are.
Yeah, more likely for one to fall on you, I suppose.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's incredible how you've used your own passion to become the center point of this story, and it's certainly not what you originally intended. You thought you were just making an underwater, you know, ocean documentary and taking pretty pictures, but the story of how you kind of came to be in it is quite fascinating, and you only realized it when you saw Robert McKee's story seminar, is that right?
Absolutely. You know, when I started making Sharkwater, I was 22. I'd never made a film, I'd never shot a video camera, I knew nothing about story. I was trying to make a pretty underwater movie that gave people a new impression of sharks. So, as you see in the film, we started filming ourselves to keep ourselves out of prison. And by the time I came back from the first shoot, you know, I had corruption and arrests and attempted murder and hospitalizations and machine guns, and no underwater footage. So I started to figure out, you know, how on earth am I going to put this story together? I went around the world, I tried to get better footage, I tried to back things up, and it wasn't until I was at a, you know, story seminar that I realized that what happened to me followed textbook story structure. You know, we had the inciting incident, we had the mounting obstacles, we had allies, we had climaxes in ways that you wouldn't expect, and just what happened to me became a really compelling story. And when we started putting that together, Sharkwater, you know, came together and took form into a very new kind of documentary. You know, a documentary, but a movie that has a crazy story like you'd find in a feature film.
But you know, it's incredible because you have just blossomed since you became the center of the story, and you know, here you are traveling the world and speaking, and you just seem like such a natural. It's hard to believe that it wasn't the idea from the start.
Sharkwater has made me grow in every way imaginable. I mean, we filmed it over 5 years in 15 different countries. So just filming it was a trial, but also getting the film off the ground. I mean, when I came back from the first shoot, I had no shark footage, but I had all the crazy human drama. I had dengue fever, West Nile virus, and tuberculosis all at the same time. And I had to grow as a human to try to get the film off the ground. I had to become a better person. I had to become a better storyteller. I had to become more exciting. I had to, you know, give people passion and enroll them in my vision of this movie and my view of the world. And so, you know, it's been the greatest gift possible that I got in something way over my head. And, you know, having to dig myself out has been the greatest gift. You know, when I started out making Sharkwater, I didn't like documentaries. I didn't want to make a documentary. Documentaries do often taste like medicine. You know they're going to taste bad going in. They're going to be good for you, but I wanted to make something that was cool. I wanted to make something that was fun and hip. I wanted people to be sucked in for the sake of the movie, not for the sake of what they were going to learn. And while they were there, while they were involved in this, beautiful story, this journey, they were hammered with conservation. Coming out on the other side changed. And I think, the films that I'm going to make in the future are going to, inspire people in that way and give people, the facts that they need through really fun adventures and through cool storytelling.
Sounds exciting. Thanks so much for talking to Filmic, mate. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
cheers. All right.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Trying to save the ship. We're not stopping.